India. Year 1913. India at the time, ruled by the British, and known to the world as the British Raj. Calcutta, the epicenter of British rule. News of a 16-year-old boy beating his British professor to death for making anti-India remarks reaches Viceroy Charles Hardinge. He casually asks the name of the boy, and the latter replies, Subhas Chandra Bose. The boy, who will in future lead the independence struggle militarily, will travel from one country to another with the only goal of liberating India. This is the story of the first Prime Minister of undivided India. This is the story of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose.
दिल्ली जाएंगे हम अपना हिट बनाएंगे, दिल्ली दिल्ली जाएंगे हम अपना हिट बनाएंगे। हम गोली खा के झूमेंगे, मौत को बढ़ के झूमेंगे, मतवाले बन आजादी के हम दरिया जंगल घूमेंगे। सुभाष हमारा हावी है, गुलामी के तालों की चाबी है, कैसा खतरा बाकी है,
Bose was patriotic, from a very early age. He came fourth, in the Indian Civil Services exam, held in UK, but refused to work, as it would meant serving the British. He returned to India in 1921, and took charge for the Bengal Provincial Congress. He quickly rose to ranks, and became General Secretary of the Congress Party in 1927. By 1938, Bose had become a national leader, and became Congress President. Bose demanded complete independence, including the use of force against the British. Gandhi, who was pacifist, opposed Bose's presidency, splitting the party in two. In 1939, Bose was forced to resign from the Congress presidency. When the party of his own nation turned against Bose, he became a lone warrior. Inspired by the song Ekla Chalo, he escaped, walked alone for 1,000 miles, left India in order to get help from the Soviets. He reached Kabul, dodging the many British spies. Bose changed his guise and travelled to Moscow, on the Italian passport. He hoped that Russia's traditional enmity to British would result in support for his plans. However, Soviets' response was disappointing, and he made his way to Berlin. In Germany, he founded the Azad Hind Radio, and created the Indian Legion. Bose's plan was to invade India via the USSR, spearheaded by the Azad Hind Army, and German support. But, in 1941, as the Hitler's tanks rolled across the Soviet border, he was devastated and knew the German army was in no position to offer help. When he met Hitler in May 1942, his suspicions were confirmed. So, in February 1943, Bose boarded a German U-boat, and left for Japan. Near Cape of Good Hope, he was transferred to Japanese I-29, for the rest of the journey to Imperial Japan. This was the only civilian transfer, between two submarines, of two different navies in World War II. Unlike Soviets and Germans, Japan had a keen interest in Indian independence. They had conquered Philippines, Singapore, Korea, parts of China and Vietnam. Japan intended to have a friendly ally to its western borders, and saw India as its perfect neighbor. A Indian National Army was already formed, by Japanese support under the command of Captain Mohan Singh, in 1942. But, it was later disbanded, due to internal disagreements. With the arrival of Subhas Chandra Bose, the idea of an independence army was revived. Bose was a charismatic and popular leader. He gained massive support, thousands of soldiers and civilians enlisted in Indian National Army. Within a week of Bose's arrival, the Indian National Army had a total of 85,000 troops. The INA had a separate women's unit, the Rani of Jhansi Regiment, which was first of its kind in Asia. In 1943, the Azad Hind government was formed, and Bose's most famous quote was, "Give me blood, and I shall give you freedom." He urged the people of India to sacrifice for the freedom of motherland. And the day finally came. In 1944, Germany's loss was certain. Japanese forces had been pushed back in the Pacific. In the meantime, the British enjoyed undisputed air superiority in Burma, and were preparing for an attack on Japanese forces. Lieutenant General Renya Mutaguchi, of the Japanese 15th Army knew that an offensive into India was the only way he could eliminate the aerial threat. Mutaguchi discussed the plans with Bose, and Operation U-Go was approved by Imperial Headquarters. On 8 March 1944, Japanese and Indian Army troops launched a major offensive, across the Chindwin River in Burma toward Imphal. The city of Imphal was defended by the Indian Fourth Corps, under the command of Lieutenant General Geoffrey Scoones. The Japanese and Indian forces furiously attacked, and pushed the British troops back to the plain. After fighting nearly 5 days, they encircled the British 17th Division. Heavy casualties were inflicted on the British troops. They barely managed to escape. After reinforcement arrived on 18 March, the advancing troops captured Ukhrul, defeating the British 23rd Division. In the following days, Indian and Japanese troops captured Sangshak, and besieged Imphal on 30 March. It was on 14 April 1944 that the tricolour flag of the Indian National Army was for the first time hoisted on the Indian soil of Morung, by Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. In the next video, we will look at the Battle of Kohima, and the reaction of the Indian people, after knowing that someone was fighting for Indian independence. That too from a foreign soil. The creator has spent ample amount of time making this video. Your like and subscribe will be appreciated and keep me motivated for more videos in future. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.